Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. No, that's a plane. No, that's super. GameMasters here, and I want to jump directly into creating a character for Marvel's Multiverse role-playing game. In the sneak peek, we showed Spider-Man's character sheet, and in our first look video, we showed other famous Marvel characters and their character sheets. Black Panther, Captain America, Groot, Thor, Iron Man, and a few others. But today we are going to go through and create our own. And if you want to play as an existing one, that's cool. Totally allowable. I just want to make one that doesn't exist in Marvel's Multiverse yet. If you haven't watched the sneak peek or the first look videos, go ahead and hit those up. They go over some of the terms that we're going to talk about in today's video, but I'll do my best to detail those terms in a little more depth here. But today we're going to make Superman exist in the Marvel Multiverse. First things first, you'll need a character sheet. While they provide one here on page 116, it's slick paper and I don't want to ruin my only copy in the book. Thankfully, Marvel provides you with some you can download and print out. I'll leave a link to those in the description below. There are two versions, a full color and a black and white. Personally, I like the black and white version better. Just a lot easier for me to see with my old eyes. Chapter 5 of this book provides a list rundown as to what to do to create your character. And it also states that you don't have to follow it in order, but for sake of this video, that's what we're going to do, follow it in order. What it lists out is 1. Determine the character's rank. 2. Create the character's concept. 3. Pick an archetype. 4. Pick ability scores. 5. Pick backstory elements and their origin and profession and traits. 6. Pick power sets and powers. And 7. Calculate other scores. First, we want to determine our character's rank. For Superman, we already know his backstory, so we're not going to worry too much about that. But while we're going down this list in order, I am going to be mindful of all of the steps. Rank is, in essence, your level, to use Dungeons & Dragons terms, but it's more than that. A fully powered superhero is going to top out at rank 25, at least in this playtest playbook. The final version may very well be a bit different and go quite a bit higher. Different ranks provide different ability score points that you can use to distribute your, well, abilities. Unlike in Dungeons & Dragons, you are not rolling d6s. This is straight up point buying. Because I want a fully souped up Superman, we are going to start off at rank 25, giving us 31 total points available to distribute. Next, we want to create the character's concept. This is stuff like their hero name, their real name, their hair color, their eye color, stuff like that. So Clark Kent is the real name. Superman is, of course, his hero's name. He's male, brown hair, blue eyes. We'll also go ahead and fill out the other concepts with the exception of occupation and profession. I'll get back to those in just a little bit. He is, 6 foot tall, weighs about 210 pounds, 230 pounds. White skin, has a dimpled chin as a distinguishing feature. And for size, the rulebook simply states most characters are average size. Some powers and traits can change that. List the character's standard size here. So we're going to go ahead and put in average. Next, if you're enjoying this video, go ahead and use your superpower and click that like button. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm and I genuinely thank you. Step 3 is pick an archetype. For that, we'll need to reference chapter 6. There are 6 types, and while Superman could technically fall under almost any of the archetypes, I'm going to go with Polymath as they have listed as an example here of Captain Marvel. And the prevailing theory is that Captain Marvel is Marvel's version of Superman in terms of powers and abilities. And we're just going to use that for ease of creating this character. Listed here are the modifiers and scores, and we'll return to these in just a bit. Step 4 is picking ability scores. Since we are going with rank 25, we get 31 points to choose from. As we went over in the first look video, the abilities in this game are might, agility, resilience, vigilance, ego, and logic. And we can jump back to chapter 3 a little to reference exactly what those mean. I've done a full creation of Superman before making this video and distributed his points a few different ways, but for making this process a little faster, this is what I ultimately settled on. His might is 7, agility is 7, resilience is 6, vigilance is 7, ego is 2, and logic is 2. And that should add up to 31 if I did my math correctly. Jumping back to Chapter 6, we can use the archetype modifiers and scores table to fill out the abilities section on the character sheet. This can be a little complicated because you're going to end up flipping back to page 36 for the definition of action modifiers and ability defenses. And while it tells you how to calculate those numbers, it doesn't exactly tell you where to find those numbers. But if you jump back to page 42, this explains where to find those numbers. In looking at the tables, we can see that the first number is the action modifier and the second number is the defense score. We can plug those in and do the basic math here accordingly to get our total action modifier and our total defense score. Step 5 is to pick our backstory elements, origin and profession, and traits. Okay, so a little earlier we talked about the profession and occupation. Occupation is basically what the character does for a living. Clark Kent is a reporter, so we'll list that, reporter. As for profession, those can be found over on page 51 in Chapter 7. In this instance, he is an investigator, and it lists that the investigator has connections with the following traits: police, investigation, and interrogation. But before we explore the traits, let's go ahead and pick our origin, as those can potentially impact the traits as well. Superman's origin, that's what we were talking about earlier in the video, is going to be alien, and because of that, he comes automatically with a trait called alien heritage. One thing about traits is that not all of them are going to impact the gameplay, but some do. In looking at the rank traits table, being ranked 25, we can pick 9. We already have alien heritage, so we'll fill that in. I'd say that Superman is also battle ready. He is always mentally prepared for a fight, and that gives him +5 focus, which we'll make note of and plug in when we get to that particular section. Combat Expert gives him an edge on fight attacks against enemies of rank 5 or less, and Determination means he never gives up. He will not gain trouble on all actions for being demoralized. Enduring Constitution, we're going to give him that as well. He can go without sleep for up to 48 hours and has edge on resilience checks to overcome fatigue or weariness. Enhanced Physique is a must-have for Superman. He is unnaturally strong. Given his might, agility, and resilience an increase of +3 each. What I'm not sure of, and this doesn't really explain, is if the +3 is added to the overall ability score or to the action modifier, which I guess doesn't really matter since it's just simple addition and they'll just add up to the same number anyway. To speed up this process, we are going to skip the last 3 traits for now. We've still got a lot more to go over in this video. Step 6 is to pick the power sets and powers. Going into this, we already know some of the things that Superman can do. He is strong, he can fly, has X-ray vision and heat vision. He has more, but again, for sake of length on this video, we're just going to concentrate on just a few of his abilities. This chart shows us that he has 3 power sets and 17 powers. Instead of looking at the power sets, we are instead going to look directly at the powers themselves since we are rank 25. Some of the powers listed don't actually belong to any given power set, and we'll take a look at flight, for example. On page 77, being ranked 25, we can actually qualify for both. But to get flight 2, we have to first have flight 1. So that's going to chew up 2 of our 17 powers. And good thing there are 2 sheets for all of these on the character sheet. We're going to end up filling all of them in. We'll also pick Might 4 over on page 82. And to have Might 4, you got to have Mighty 1, 2, and 3 first. Mighty gives you the ability to do things like picking up super heavy objects and also gives you bonuses to Might ability checks. And that chews up 4 more of our pool of 17 powers. We're also going to pick Energy Beam, found on page 75. This gives Superman that heat vision. Yeah, I know it's got energy listed instead of heat, but we're just trying to get as close as we can to making him in the Marvel Multiverse. I'm going to skip picking the rest of the powers, again, just trying to speed things up a little. But if we were to continue, I'd pick other powers that mimic what Superman's powers actually are. Step 7 is to calculate the other scores, which we have done some along the way, but we still need to determine the health, karma, focus, fight, damage, ranged damage, initiative modifier, and speed. And these are really simple to figure out. To determine health, you multiply your resilience by your rank. So 6 plus the 3 from the enhanced physique is 9 times 25 is 225. And keep in mind other things may boost that number too. Karma is equal to half your rank rounded up, so that would be 13. Focus is determined by your archetype. In our case, that's polymath, but you get the number by multiplying our vengeance by rank, which is 10 times 25, which is 250, and add that to the base number, which is 150. That gives us a total focus of 350, plus the 5 we had from our bonus earlier. Speed is taken from a base speed of 25, and you add your agility. So ours would be plus 10, 35 total. But again, keep in mind other things can enhance your swim, climb, flying, and other speeds. Your initiative modifier is the higher of either your agility or vigilance. In our case, both are the same, so we're going to put down plus 10. Fight damage is found under your archetype, and then you add your ability that you use to attack. Ranged damage is determined in the same way. Now see, that wasn't all that complex. Okay, creating a character for Marvel's Multiverse role-playing game has its moments, but so does every other game out there. Shucks, I've spent 30 minutes in Elden Ring just customizing my character. D&D character creation sessions can last a couple of hours. The way I see it, if you're going to have a grand time sitting down with friends and crafting up your own Avengers team, you're doing so to be invested in that character. Now keep in mind too, we made a rank 25 character, so really anything under rank 5 probably won't take anywhere near as long. And I of course sped through several different elements of the creation just for sake of speed in this video. While we're still diving deep into the playtest rulebook and are collecting those videos into an ever-growing playlist, which you can find here, this has been a pretty exciting book for us to go through, and my players are super excited to see what adventure I throw at them this weekend. What kind of character, and more importantly, what type of hero powers are you wanting to create? Let me know in the comments below, and until next our paths cross, use your superpowers for the betterment of all.